I've always said there's no guarantees in gambling, and yesterday that came into effect once more. Right before I recorded Thursday's video report, I had read in the Minneapolis papers that Teddy Bridgewater was most likely going to be starting last night. Of course, you saw the game in the rain and the fog, and Bridgewater standing on the sideline when they put out the sacrificial lamb, that being Christian Ponder last night in Green Bay. The Vikings, of course, their first 11 possessions, they go scoreless. Ponder, meanwhile, gets sacked 6 times, gets hurried 16 times, and the Packers roll to the easy win, and Bridgewater just looking on. Nobody here ventured a choice on that game. And that's what happens sometimes when you just don't know who the hell's going to actually be starting a quarterback. Could the Vikings have been more competitive last night with Bridgewater? Maybe. I know myself, I really got off the game because I was more concerned about the weather forecast. And as you saw, it was a pretty miserable game there. Wasn't like the Bears-Eagles years ago in the fog at Soldiers Field, but it was damn close. I mean, it was pretty ugly last night at Lambeau. But I gave you a free pick at least on the game going over the total. And listen, for those of you that are not Packer fans, but you watched the game last night and you're suddenly going to become Packer fans and think maybe it's time to start routing Green Bay, rest assured, the Packers are not that good, guys. Yes, they've had 2 strong offensive games in a row against the Vikings at home and the Bears in Chicago, but this is the same team that was kept in check at Detroit just a couple of Sundays ago, and their defense not tested last night with Christian Ponder, obviously, but their defense still isn't any good, so don't get sucked in. Be an overreaction gambler because, trust me, the odds makers are going to set those prices trying to suck you in because you saw how dominant the Packers were last night on national TV. Now, in college football last night, what can I tell you? Trace Adams, the guy who's just been deadly on Thursday nights dating back to 2007, he was on the wrong side of the Houston Cougars game. That was a game I talked to you about yesterday on the video report that I really didn't have a lot of faith in Houston after the Cougars let me down in their home opener, which was in their debut of their brand new stadium. That offensive line really isn't that good, and these are not the same Houston Cougars that you saw a year ago. And Central Florida pulled off the road upset last night. Well, he was, of course, Trace I'm speaking of, was on Houston last night. The other big play that most of the handicappers had, including Steve Budin's Cali Cartel crew, which had been off to a perfect 5-0 start in football, 2-0 in NFL, 3-0 in college. They had a big play last night on Oregon. And what can I tell you? Arizona has Oregon's number for the 2nd straight year. That's it. Duck season over again. I mean, you saw last year when they lost in Tucson to Arizona, how they went into that tailspin. It's over. It's done with. The Ducks have nothing to play for. Really, that's how I look at this particular game. Meanwhile, people in Michigan are going, we've got Brady Hoke now. Maybe Rich Rod, we should have given him a couple more years because he's done a hell of a good job there in Arizona. And a surprisingly good defensive effort last night by the Wildcats. I mean, this is a team that couldn't stop California from scoring the week prior and needed a Hail Mary pass to win that barn burner playing at home. And yet they go up there and take care of business. Of course, this is all a moot point to me because my best bet yesterday was another 10-dime release on the Baltimore Orioles. Thank you very much, Nelson Cruz. Do you realize you could have had Nelson Cruz, if you're a Major League Baseball team, for a song and a dance through the free agency route prior to the start of the season? And I think he signed with Baltimore for like $8 million plus incentives. Oh, I think they got their money's worth there, don't you? Okay, we've got 3 more college football games going here tonight. I'm going to break down one of them for you, the BYU-Utah State contest, in just a moment and give you a free selection on that particular game. Listen, some of your promos today and your discount codes. Let's talk about Scott Delaney, 100-dime Mountain West Game of the Year, San Diego State and Fresno State. It's a 100-dime play. 100-dime plays, 66-40-1, his record in all sports the past 4 years. You get it for $24, save $75 off the regular price by using coupon code SCOTT24, SCOTT24. Shawn Michaels, the winningest football handicapper at this site. Do I have to say any more? $10 bettors have won $30,400 in football the past 5 years. That's college and pro combined. $30,400 in football. His last football selection was his 50-dime Sunday night total of the year play, which you got for $14. Of course, it was on Sunday night. Duh. No, actually, yeah, it was the Sunday night game, right? I thought for a second it was the Monday night game. By the way, are we going to have a good Thursday or Monday night game anytime soon? Has anybody been totally bored with these Sunday and Monday night games? I mean, other than the game, between the Eagles and the Colts, has there really been any great action? Just a thought. Anyway, the winningest football handicapper at the site, going for winning day number 112 out of 184, is first 100-dime max wager play of the college football season. 100-dime play, BYU and Utah State. 37-20 roll with 100-dime max wager releases in all sports since December. $10 bettors in all sports the past 17 months, up $24,750. You save $60 by using coupon code Sean. Sean, his first name. As for me, my best bet, if you're watching this video early enough, it's still available because I am going to have another 10-dime play on the Dodgers and Cardinals. It matches yesterday's 10-dime play on the Orioles, and these 10-dime releases, I've won 20 out of 24 over the past 6 weeks. Not bad. And 29 out of 42 winning days as well, and you can get it for $22. Again, just like yesterday's winner on the Orioles, by using coupon code AL22, AL22, AL22. Hey, quick props going out to Gabriel DuPont. Yesterday, when I had my best bet on the Orioles-Tigers game, I told you that he had his highest rated baseball play ever, a 200-dime release on the same side. So whether you got him or you got me, either way you won yesterday because we were both on the Orioles. So kudos to him in that one. Matter of fact, guys, give me 1 second. I see he's going for winning day number 11 out of 16. He's made $10 bettors a little over $3,200 the past 15 days. I see he has a 50-dime play tonight on the BYU-Utah State contest. And let me just look this up for you. I know you think I'd think about doing this beforehand, but it never really dawned on me. Let me just see. He is on the same side as Shawn Michaels tonight. Same side as Shawn Michaels. So let me talk about that particular game. I find the subplots in this contest kind of interesting in a bizarre, perverse way. Morbid, perhaps, would be the best word to describe it. A couple of years ago, the BYU quarterback, Taysom Hill, playing against Utah State, he hurt his knee. Last year, when they played in Logan, Utah, Utah State's quarterback, Chucky Keaton, hurt his knee. Well, here, coming into this year's battle, you've got Keaton once again sidelined with a re-aggravation of that same knee injury. Now, for Utah State, even though they are coming off a 21-14 overtime loss at Arkansas State, they're not exactly left with no talent at quarterback because remember, Darryl Garretson, he went 6-1 as a starter last year in significant action while Keaton was out. And he played relatively well, going for 26 of 46 for 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception in that road loss to Arkansas State. Of course, the odds makers haven't played at this line because Keaton is out, and I think they almost overlooked the fact that, the Utah State backup quarterback, saw a hell of a lot of action last year, and he's going to see a hell of a lot of action today, this year as well. Taysom Hill did not play particularly well in BYU's last game against Virginia. It was a 41-33 win, and now he's going to be taking on a Utah State defense that is so-so because the Aggies have allowed at least 33 points or 35 points in 3 of their 4 games this season. And remember, it's not just Taysom Hill. Jamal Williams, an outstanding running back. I mean, it's really a very strong 1-2 punch. They combined for 440 yards against a pretty big and stout, when it comes to defending the run, Virginia defense. Now, Utah State's only giving up 87 yards a game on the ground, but they haven't really been tested yet. So maybe their number 4 ranking in terms of stopping the run is somewhat of a mirage here today. BYU has some offensive line problems. They don't afford Hill a lot of protection. They've already allowed 13 sacks on the season. They're taking on a Utah State team that has 13 sacks in 4 games, including 4 last week at Arkansas State. BYU does not have a very good pass rush, only 9 sacks in 4 games, okay? The BYU defense could not do anything to stop Virginia a couple Saturdays ago. Cavaliers ran for 192 yards, passed for 327. Now, remember, in 2 home games, they've allowed 25 points to Houston and 33 points to Virginia. So the Aggies are 9-1 against the spread as a double-digit road dog going back to 2009. And you're getting 3 touchdowns tonight. As a guy who has followed BYU extensively this season and has picked up a couple of wins, either going on or against them, I got to tell you, I just can't see laying the points. I mean, could it be a 52-13 blowout? Yeah, it could be, okay? Definitely could be. But I just don't think that's the way this game is going to play. I think it's going to be more of a defensive battle, and I think it's going to be something like 33-17, maybe a 35-20 game. I just see it being closer than the 3-touchdown spread in this one. So again, I'm going to go with Utah State plus the points in this particular contest. Now, your other stuff going here tonight, I'll tell you what, Angels and Royals, as I pointed out in Thursday's video report, the Angels were going to have a tough time winning this series because their pitchers, after Jared Weaver is, they're struggling. Let's put it that way. Matt Shoemaker going tonight in game number 2, which is really a must-win situation for the Halos. He last pitched September 15th because he's been bothered by a sore ribcage injury. And then you got C.J. Wilson, who's been like a human time bomb, constantly imploding during the month of September and has not pitched well on the road all season long. I'll tell you what, I would be on the Royals tonight if not the fact that Ned Yost pitched their starter tonight in relief in that AL wildcard game on Tuesday night after he started last Sunday. I'd be on the Royals tonight, but I think the Angels have a tough road to hoe in this particular series. Anyway, that's it. Good luck to you guys, and we'll be back here again on Saturday to do this one more time.